Hello, this is Safari Catch Up, your speedy, punchy look at the last day in the wilds of Africa.
What a great morning, what a great way to start with the olive baboons. And seeing that warthog amongst, or that pig amongst the baboons. She is young, I don't know what she's doing amongst them, but they have one commonality here. Food, and food has brought them together. Look at how she is scratching herself. I think she just got wind, and she has found herself wonderful friends. Now the baboons will groom themselves. I haven't seen warthogs doing that. It's rather difficult for him to get a friend to groom him, and that's a boy that Himari is showing us there. He's telling us he is a boy, he got his genitalia out, and no doubt that one is a male. It's time to groom themselves, and they usually go like one far after the other, looking for parasites. Anything. I have always guessed ticks, mites, fleas, lice. And apparently, whatever they get, they put them right straight into their mouth.
Have a look at what we have found. It's the beautiful Miss Kuchava, our first whiskers for this Whiskers Wednesday. Hello, madam. What a lovely little crossover, little walk by. Shame, Kuchava has been all over the place. He, I think, is very hungry. She looks in good condition. I think she's just a little hungry. I did say she was going to go to stop at the termite mound. Have a little scan over there. Maybe there's something that she can see. The point of elevation Shame you can see it's flies already bothering her this morning.
Okay, well, we found them. We found one at least. They moved into this. There's another one on its way as well, so that's great. They moved. We had where their tracks were. Did a big loop. Didn't feel like anything crossed, but it might have. And we decided to come back on ourselves to see where maybe they've gotten to, and it's clear that they've been busy. Oh, there's a third one coming too as well. This is great. So the whole well, at least 3 of them are on their way. Anna Marie, the Black Dam ladies on parade. They look like they've eaten. Their bellies are definitely fuller than they were last night. Look at that youngster. Oh, hello, black-headed oriole. And if I have a look at my map from where I had their tracks coming off of that main road, well, not very far at all. You don't expect them to be very close if they've been moving, but clearly if they've caught something and have fed upon it, and it's possible that we are just behind.
We are still here watching these spoonbills maneuver through a very tight, very difficult area for them to be maneuvering through. Lots of reed at the back there. However, in that tight spot area, they can what's the word? They can trap all sorts of little insects. Well, mostly the fish. If they're going for fish, they can trap fish in there, and then they can herd them up. But basically, the method of feeding, obviously, you see the open mouth. There's no filter or anything like that. They open the mouth and they swing it, and everything that kind of touches the inside of their beak, they close down. They snap down on it, whatever it is. So it's a very sensitive bill, not beak. It's a very sensitive bill that they have. And you can obviously see every now and then they are quite successful about snapping all sorts up. Now, they do say that you can, and I said you usually find them in flocks, but you can also find them in pairs, or you can find them by themselves. This bird doesn't necessarily make too much noise, so when they are together in flocks you won't necessarily hear much. You might hear a groan, but that's about it.
So, we've managed to come across these two rhinoceros. That female has got a huge horn on her. It's a mom and a calf. It looks like she smelled something. It's making her a bit concerned. Could be us. The wind is sort of going towards them from us. Bit of a northerly breeze. See how they back up to each other? You see that often with rhino. They sleep like that as well, facing in opposite directions. Ears tilting front and back. Listening in every way possible. Terrible eyesight, but excellent smell and hearing. The Nicholas, yeah, absolutely, the African unicorn. Although they do have two horns, so the African bicorn.
I would say a very big success, especially for Imara, because we have gotten one of the 7 Topi boys. My quick guess could be Zuri. Are you going to stand up and move? Possibly. Let's find out. And where would you be going? Look at him. What a majestic boy he is. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is one boy from the Topi boys, or the coalition of the Topi. Majestic, full, big belly, looking in good shape. Not sure he is going for a drink. You want to jump? Or in the lager and out.
Welcome here to the eastern part of the Mara. Look at what we have. We have one of the biggest birds in the world. This ostrich is on his breeding plumage, and you can tell because he's got his very pink neck and very pink legs. So during the breeding season, the dominant male will court several females, but only one becomes the main or major hen. So when there's a few females, some of them will come and lay eggs, and during that time of incubation period, only the alpha hen will be able to sit on the eggs or to incubate them, and also get help from the male. Interesting thing, the alpha hen will always put the cluster of eggs that she's laid on very middle part of the cluster, so the rest of the eggs, if at all they get stolen, so one thing that she's sure of, she will get to have chicks.
So what's happening? there is a fight for resources. This elephant dung is pretty freshly produced. We were with these elephants 45 minutes ago, and the dung beetles have the ability to find the dung incredibly quickly. You can see he's created a ball, and he's decided that he wants to go over the mound because, well, why not? The sediment on the right of the screen is evident of where some dung has already been buried. There we go, he's just lost his orientation. Let him do a little quick 360 on top to figure out which direction he wants to go. He's looking at you, Paul. You're a famous dung beetle right now. And now he's going to go. First, he's just having a little look, double checking. Maybe he's still looking to add some dung to that ball. I think he might still want to add a little. Generally, a dung beetle of that size will have added more dung. There he is. Sorry, boy, he's busy adding some dung there. So there we go. He's definitely plastering some more dung onto the side of that ball. I felt like it needed to be a little bit bigger.
So right here we have one of Africa's most powerful eagle, the martial eagle. I like calling it the leopard of the sky. Look at how big he is. These are one of the biggest raptors around here, or even here in Africa. So as the leopard will rule the bushes and also the trees and its terrain, this is also one bird that rules up the sky. He's slowly scouting and scanning around here because at this hour the rodents are active. We can find sometimes small baby impalas because this bird can take prey as large as a small antelope or even monkeys. So sometimes when monkeys or baboons come across or can see a martial eagle, they'll all tend to back and stay away because I've seen them falling prey to the martial eagle. Young impalas and even jackals, I've seen the martial eagle taking a jackal. Recently I saw somewhere around in the Serengeti where the martial eagle preyed on a savo cat.
And here we go. I left the male lion when one of the game rangers from the Narok County gave me the intel about this particular cheetah here. So we're trying to think who this is, and maybe Imarat is thinking this is Nora. You think it's Nora? One thing we know for a fact is a female. Jillian, a big jumbo from us in the Mara, myself and Imara, and you're saying it's wonderful to see a cheetah. Julian, I haven't seen one for a long time. Now, she is right there, taking a bit of, I would say, shade from the red oat grass, but behind her, there's a little green bush, and I'm sure most likely that's where she'll end up going for the rest of the day to keep cool. She seems to be also looking up. I would think for now it could be a bit hard for them or for her rather to hunt as much as they've been known to chance on any prey that possibly could come on their way, but not like the lions. Cheetahs will plan to hunt. Lions are the ones who will take any opportunity that comes on their way. Hello, Madame Nora.
So this seems like this morning is a catty morning, like a spotted cat morning. Look, David has Nora, one of the oldest cheetahs, and now here we have the leopard. Look at her eyes, her amber eyes, beautiful. Pinakin, the reason why we have leopards around here, that's good advantage. So having lots of trees, it's a good advantage for the leopards. Creates shade, creates a good spot to scan the surrounding for predators and prey, and also for a cool breeze. When it gets hot, we normally see leopards up on a tree just to get the breeze, and also takes flies off their faces and their body. You can see her ears twitching, tells you that she's keenly concentrated on whatever movement that is around it there.
Look at that tiny baby. How cute. I'm imagining also in this particular area, they could be getting a bit of minerals or some sort of salt, like a salt pan here. Possibly is a drink and a source of salts, possibly. Ringo, you're saying what a big difference between the calf and the mother. I mean, that could be like 50 times difference in sizes, but it's more family. And I'm trying to think maybe the big one there, the one in the middle, the one that has skewed task, possibly is the matriarch here, and possibly also the mother of this very, very young calf. You can see one of them is still drinking, and maybe the mother is showing. See how careful she is. Very gentle with the baby. Look at that, how she lifts her feet. The baby is still not having a pretty good balance. Still pretty young. And you see the underskin still a bit, what do you dream of? A bit pink? What a scratch.
Jambo, good afternoon and welcome to this part of the Mara. We have two of the Blackrock Pride lionesses, and look what they have. They have a giraffe baby killed. So 2 days ago I was around here and I saw lots of young giraffes here. So this is where they're left, like a nursery. And unlucky for this baby giraffe, was caught by these two lionesses. I reckon the size of her legs, looks like she's about 2 weeks old. So digesting meat generates a lot of heat. So the internal heat is called postprandial thermogenesis. Because lions don't sweat like humans, panting is the main way to cool their body down. You can see how she's panting. That is how they cool their body down. Being a long way from water, I'm sure after they devour this carcass, they might go for a drink. Oh, that's a tiny, tiny baby giraffe.
I got the hooded vultures. Actually not one, but two, and the reason they're here is because early this morning I saw two of the Topi boys. I guessed one was Okingo and the other one was Moja Moja, and they were on a carcass. I didn't see the carcass myself, but they were on a carcass, and that is the reason these hooded vultures are here. Now, this could have been a bossier tree that maybe died but is still standing. Yeah, I would want to believe so. It must have been like, that's died. And after the hooded vultures, the other scavengers I'll see getting very close to kills or very early to kills will be the bat-lures, the bat-lure eagles or the short-tailed eagles, as they want to call them now. And you can see the amount of wind, how it's blowing that particular vulture.
We've decided to climb a termite mound, a nice big tree in the way, and view our elephants from a bit of an elevated position. When you're on foot walking with elephants and you can find yourself elevated, some form of barrier, rocks, elevation, a river, a dam, a pan, take full advantage. We feel safer, they feel a lot safer. You can actually sit for quite some time watching elephants on foot in that way. They really do understand barriers. Bear in mind, elephants from the dawn of time have had influences from humans. So on the African continent, human-wildlife conflict with elephants is real. They do fear us. So when we see them out in the wild places on walks, it's always good to have some form of barrier just to make them feel safe. I can spend hours viewing elephants on foot.
Oh, look at what we have found ourselves. Another elephant. And he's walking towards us. This is not the same boy that we were sitting with earlier. This is in fact a different elephant. And he's just as covered in mud. Seems like he's just gonna keep on making his way towards us. Tina, absolutely. Absolutely. Lots for this big boy to feed on. And, well, lots of green grass too. There you can really see how much mud is on himself.
At one point I mentioned I would be looking for a cheetah that I had seen this particular morning. I've been able to catch up with it, and this morning it was in the midst of some elephant grass and the red oat grass. But very luckily, she just walked out of that area and laid down there. This particular member is called Nora. I'm sure all of you know Nora. She's one of the most known or celebrated cheetahs here in the Masai Mara. Now look at her belly. She looks very well fed. I wouldn't want to say she is pregnant. I don't think so. But most likely she is just well fed. Now, Nora is about 12 years old. And I think she has done well in her lifespan. I wouldn't want to say she's going to her sunset days, but for 12 for a cheetah, it's pretty cool.
Look at what our lioness has come to. She's come to have a drink. This is one thing that they always do, because the meat takes a long time to digest and it consumes a lot of water in their body. So they use a lot of urea when they urinate, and because of the eating, so they need to drink a lot. Wow, beautiful light, and you can see the reflection in the water there. She keeps on going. Oh. After eating, lions can drink about 5 to 10 liters of water. I wonder how much she's drunk. Hazel Joy, she is in good shape.
Yes, we have managed to catch up with the Amakhala pride. The 3 females who are nice and sleepy just next to a thicket, which is casting its shadow perfectly over them. It's been a rather hot day, so I think they're quite enjoying this nice cool spot behind the shrubbery. Nice to see them. We haven't spent too much time with them this time around. And they have been moving a lot. Sometimes on the main reserve, sometimes here on Amma North. Always nice to spend time with them, even though they are a bit sleepy. It might be time for them to get up sometime soon. So Brit in Texas, absolutely. Lovely to catch up with the lions on Amakhala. Always a privilege. And these 3 are in fantastic nick.
Look at this beautiful sighting. So the Sun River Pride cubs have all come to say hi to their dad. Hello, checking on dad. How are you? He's not happy. It's like, come on. This is not the best time to disturb me. And the other 2 are actually drinking. This is a nice weather. The wind is blowing. The sun is not hot. So it's a perfect weather for these cubs. Oh, how cute is that? So that looks a little bit tolerant. The other one was a little bit aggressive to the cubs. Do you want to play with me? Wow, look at this. Vinance, oh, look at this. Not always we get to see this. Not all males are tolerant to the cubs. They're always not nice to the cubs, but this one, oh, is a super good dad. How lovely is this?
So it's been some time since we've seen the breeding herd of elephants, but we're changing that today. I've got the whole herd now that has been walking past just in front of us in this river line, feeding as they go. Little youngster there is mounting the other one in playful boisterousness. See the youngsters getting stuck into that sweet thorn as well. I don't mind too much about the thorns. Stephanie, yes indeed. Elise, the Amakhala breeding herd. Here comes some more. Beautiful light. So they're all going to come walking past us. You can see they've been in the water hole. They've just had a drink. So we just managed to catch them as they're now moving off from the water hole.
That was a brilliant look at the last day from the wilds of South Africa and the Mara. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We'll see you next time.